Yesterday, I visited his family and Mr. Alejandro Carranza. I went to his home yesterday. His father was a fisherman. He was a fisherman that was an expert in handling speedboats. Maybe he was hired, maybe he was not, but he was died because he was a victim of a missile in the Caribbean Sea, and the blood affected the blue. And I went to visit his family, and his death. It's on the idea that he's a narco terrorist, which is a new concept, and the family lives without a home. The family is a homeless, isolated family in the poorest city of Santa Marta. The daughter, maybe the father trying to make her daughter go to school, did something that they couldn't do, but never did that family could be considered narco terrorists. And even at the light of the treaties that we have signed, and even under the idea of democracy and freedom in the world, I mean, this person has been killed under all these concepts. It was an extrajudicial killing, and it's been hundreds in this seat that it's the house that welcomes us. This is today's world.
¿Qué hacemos con esta reunión en el mundo de hoy, en medio de los misiles? Y aunque cada uno aquí, como representante de su gobiernos.
As a representative of your government, have different positions, I know. I think that we should be conscious that in today's world, where barbarism advances over there in the Middle East, in Ukraine, in Russia, over there, and here in the Caribbean, where the word democracy was born for America, the word democracy, the power, popular power, the palenque, which was popular power. What we have is to be a beacon, a light, a century of light, they said of Europe, but the century of light was also Caribbean. There are beautiful literature, books were good poets. Alejo Carpentier has a novel named The Century of Light, which shows how that world of light was just nothing more than the lantern of Diogenes from Greece, but brought to the present, was created in the Caribbean differently. The Caribbean century of light brought independence to America, to the north, to the south, and to the center. This is a sea of democratic revolution, over which missiles are dropping. And so how can we be a beacon while we, Europeans, Latin Americans, and Caribbeans are here, a beacon to the world without falling into the thesis that we are superior, without falling into the thesis that we exist to dominate? We are to hold dialogue. If there is a special characteristic of the Latin American people, is that because we, having all the bloods of the world in our veins, can talk to the whole world without any problem. We can dance, whether it is in Arabia or Africa or Asia, Europe, whether it be here, and we dance. And dance, as we saw last night, is a dance with the stars and with the other. With the difference, we can be different and understand each other, even though we might kill ourselves. Colombia has been an example of how it can go out from one violent time and then go right into another. But for this instance, what I propose, and let me not use too much time, this coffee produced by the indigenous people and the cocoa, our products are not a priority good. These are life goods. The priority is life. The Sierra Nevada, as the indigenous people say here, is the heart of the world. We are not creating literature. It is the truth. Fourth country to attract the nomad animals of the planet, because there is an energy. And that is how the indigenous people deemed it ancestrally. That is why the struggle with Spain, the moment the Spanish came here, it took a century, 100 years of indigenous resistance, and that is why they went up the mountains to preserve a thought, a belief, and that belief that is expressed here is nothing more that they took care of the heart of the world, to take care of the heart of the world, because should this fall, then the world would be destroyed. It is the thesis of the indigenous people who live here, and that is why I wanted this place to be the center of this meeting, because here in the heart of the world we have to care for the world in its nature, in its life, in the cohabitation of human beings. The flag remains the same, a free humanity and a global democracy that would allow differences of any kind, which are a wealth, a unanimous humanity is that humanity, how to achieve this in peace, how to pacify what today is war, storm, how to contain the forces that are unleashing barbarism, how to make democracy a reality in the world, not as a single formula that a country exports, but rather a collective construction of dialogue of civilizations. There is a dialogue of civilizations here, and it could be an example for the world. The two civilizations met with in blood, with a sword and arrows, killing themselves mutually. We now meet in peace. Two different civilizations, several different civilizations. Humanity is possible in difference, and that is why I want the CELAC European Union Summit. It is my wish to be a beacon of light in the middle of barbarism, or amidst barbarism, and that it might be able to tell the world that to hold dialogue between several, that a global democracy and that a free humanity is possible now, still, when barbarism is advancing and killing people. Thank you, very kind, for having heard me.